Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has arrived in the U.S. ahead of his last-ditch effort to convince U.S. lawmakers to continue aid for Ukraine as the war continues with Russia. Zelensky arrived in Washington late on Monday to meet with the top U.S. lawmakers, the head of the International Monetary Fund and also the U.S. President Joe Biden. And as Zelensky started his critical visit to Washington, D.C. to shore up security assistance, he met with International Monetary Fund's chief, Kristalina Georgieva, as the fund's executive board approved a $900 million disbursement for Ukraine from its $15.6 billion loan program. The IMF chief met Zelensky for nearly an hour at the IMF headquarters in Washington. She also told him that the IMF's executive board was unanimous in its support for Ukraine. Take a listen.
We are thankful to IMF, Kristalina, that I heard now and see it that you will support us financially. It's very important during this challenging period. That's why it means that Ukraine is strong and not alone. Thank you so much.
And before meeting the IMF chief, Ukrainian president also addressed a U.S. military audience. In the address, Zelensky said he hoped he can still count on the U.S. while also urging the Congress not to play into Russian President Vladimir Putin's hands.
Gets the message loud and clear. The whole world is watching us, observing what destiny other free nation could face to live freely or to be subjugated. Ukrainians haven't given up and won't give up. We know what to do, and you can count on Ukraine, and we hope just as much to be able to count on you.
Well, the statement made by the Ukrainian president comes as he is scheduled to meet U.S. President Joe Biden and also the top congressional officials today. Zelensky seeks to shore up support for continued U.S. security help for Kyiv's fight against Russia's invasion. Many Republican lawmakers have questioned the continued aid to Ukraine, but the U.S. President Joe Biden's administration has warned Congress that a failure to renew military assistance to Ukraine that could tip the war in Russia's favor, creating national security threats for the West. Well, Biden's Democratic allies in Congress are trying to win approval of about $50 billion in new security assistance for Ukraine. But the lawmakers are scheduled to go into recess for the year by Friday.